Jeff, speaking of oversaturation, well, we're not oversaturating. There's one less practice we need to talk about. But, look, we are at the end of Saints off-season, and are there observations to be made, Jeff? Yes, there are. But how about there are observations to be made, but there's no need for overreactions to be made. How about that? Can we have a healthy compromise there?
As I pointed out many times, Marcus Colston at this time during his rookie season was awful. He couldn't get up and down the field. He was in bad shape. He used the summer 6-week break to get in shape and came out and became a starter as a rookie, and the rest is history. So these judgments people make. Andres Pete, remember the first time we saw him report to camp? How'd he look?
Yeah, but it took him more than a season at least to actually look the part. So that's not an overreaction.
Well, but that was in training camp. So I'm just saying people have a bad practice in the middle of June, and we're talking about making sweeping judgments on a single practice. Come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't need to make a sweeping judgment, but whatever happens in front of you, people are curious, and I think that's why we do it. So if X, Y, and Z are playing a spot, you talk about it.
Oh,
people
yeah, that stuff's fine. I'm talking about making a judgment on the performance in a practice. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, Mike Thomas is dominating. Oh, really? That's shocking to me. He's only the best receiver on the team. I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the league. Of course he's dominating. That's not earth-shattering news to me.
But if that's
Drew
what
Brees
happened
is
at practice,
good, Clyde.
If that's what's happened at
Drew
practice,
Brees just threw the ball on the money.
If that's what's happened at practice, that's what's happened
It's
at
practice.
I know.
Where's Allen Iverson when I need him? Where's he at?
Well, what if? Okay, participation. If someone's not there,
report that.
Okay,
report that. Or some of the coverage we have. I'm not saying the coverage because there's a lot of good stuff coming out of the locker room where we get to visit with players that have not. We haven't had a chance to talk to them since the season ended. Those things are all relevant. I enjoy reading those. I think the fans need to hear what players have been doing, where they're going, all those kind of things. Terran Armstead, for instance, how confident he is. Those things I can understand. Evaluating players during a practice in the middle of June and trying to make some kind of judgment when they're not even wearing pads is silly. Frankly, it's silly, and we shouldn't be doing it.
So basically, you just don't want to hear that, let's see, that Marcus Davenport is a beast, and he's going to get 10 sacks this season because of what I saw in helmet shirts and shorts.
But I would say this. When the coaches, you talk to, say, Ryan Nielsen or Mike Nolan, and you're talking to them, and they're saying, yes, this offseason so-and-so's taken a step up. He's really come on. He put weight on, or we worked on this technique. Those are relevant things. Those are the coaches that have evaluated the tape over a long period of time, and they've made some kind of evaluation because they're doing it every day. Then I'm fine with it. But it reminds me of when Brian Alley Walsh and I were on the beat, and we were forced to judge every practice, and we had to do a who's hot and who's not. And Brian would often, and I always kidded him about this, he would make who's not somebody that dropped a pass, in a practice, and that made them not hot because of one drop pass that he happened to see.
They're not hot.
Well, I mean, one drop? Come on.
Hey, you're supposed to catch them all. Touches your hands, you're supposed to catch it, Jeff.
That's my point, and we're guilty of it. We were every bit as guilty as whoever's doing it now.
Well, we've scaled back on that a good bit. You talk about the play of the day, you do this, do that.
Right.
Look, there is interest. And yet, I
that.
understand where Jeff's point is, but my point is that people want to know, and if they make silly judgments, that's their bad. If I'm not out there making silly judgments, my lead observation yesterday was just who was Drew Brees throwing the football to. If you're coming out to practice to see the superstars, they're not practicing, and this is basically a reason, in my eyes, to say, you know what? Let's nix this last practice because Drew Brees is throwing to a bunch of guys he's not going to be throwing to even at the start of training camp, much less week one. So let's call it a day. So I think that's part of it.
June 2nd, 2017, NOLA.com headline.
Oh, dear.
Adrian Peterson, opening eyes, dropping jaws of his new Saints teammates
Who wrote that?
by Jeff Duncan.
Oh.
You did it. Now, I would never write such a thing.
That's the folly, all you need to know.
You're getting an F, yeah.
Almost exactly a year ago, I'm writing
That's
a story.
on you, dude.
Here are the quotes. He's a beast, Kenny Vaccaro said.
Oh,
a stud,
from Kenny
Drew
Vaccaro.
Brees said. Left tackle Taron Armstead went a step further. I've honestly never seen somebody like him. That was a June of last year.
That was a Jeff Duncan decision.
I'm amazed,
Just
Armstead
saying.
said. This dude is extremely blessed. He's got so much left. You'll see it.
Okay, but this is not you making the judgment. These are the players who are going to speak glowingly. We got to sift through the nonsense. You could write that stuff and say, "All right, wait, let's hold our horses. Give me a break." I'll just put it in perspective as we take a break right here on the show. When I wrote a column earlier this week on Mark Ingram, and he's saying, I'm bailing on OTAs. It has nothing to do with the contract, this, that, the other. My judgment in there was he might be telling us the truth. He might be lying to our face. But personally, I don't care because I don't care that he missed OTA. So that's my judgment. If someone wants to say, Mark's not doing it for the money, Mark's saying, I'm not doing it for the money, this, that, and the other, we don't have to believe them.
No, exactly.
So
exactly.
That's the difference.
That's what I'm saying. But a year ago, the hype train on Adrian Peterson was nonstop.
Jeff was part of it. Hype train, yeah. He gave him an A. I gave him an F.
By the way, guys, we got our first goal in the World Cup. Yuri Gazinski, 1-0 to the Ruskies.
Oh, Yuri, wow, we'll have to break that down.
Wow, the Russians are
Off the
already
header.
they're already rigging the World Cup.
Yep, it's already rigged. He's probably doping anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, hopefully when we get Josh Katzenstein on, we'll just have his dog Fred, who used to play soccer for Brazil, right? Brazilian soccer star Fred.
By the way,
how many World Cups ago was that?
Shout out to our YouTuber Jerry. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Jerry. Wanted to give you that shout out.
Happy birthday, Jerry.
That's right, man. Thanks for sticking with us. Josh Katzenstein next. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Dunc Holder.